What's up, everybody? Jerry Scarlato here with another episode of Thriveology 101. And today, I have my Star Wars shirt on. That's because episode 9 will be released tomorrow, if I put this out correctly on Thursday. Yes, The Rise of Skywalker is coming out, and we are all celebrating, I'm sure. So I wanted to make sure that I have my mind right with the Star Wars gear, and it also primes your mind for your viewing of Star Wars tomorrow, because I'm sure that you are equally as excited as I am. Nonetheless, we've gone over 2 steps so far in our getting started portion of setting our goals for 2020. Number 1, we've talked about creating a compelling vision of the future. If you don't remember those steps, make sure to look back 2 weeks of Thriveology 101 so you can go over that again. Last week, we talked about SMART goals: specific, measurable, audacious, relevant to your vision, and time sensitive. Remember, these are 12-week outcome goals that we're trying to achieve. If you haven't done that yet, also look back last week and do that. Today, we are looking at the 12-week map. The 12-week map that is going to get us to our 12-week outcome goal, which is also moving us toward our 3 to 5 year vision of the future. So you notice this process, we are slowly scaling down. We've looked at 3 to 5 years down the road in our compelling vision. We've looked at a 12-week goal. Now we're creating our 12-week map, which is the same amount of time, but we're going to scale that 12 weeks down even further so that you can create a micro steps to start to move you toward that 12-week outcome goal. So what is MAP, a 12-week map? MAP stands for Massive Action Plan, because without a massive action plan, you are not going to take any steps toward your goal. Even though you have this thing written down, you have this outcome that you want to achieve, whether that's losing 20 pounds, running a marathon in X amount of time, just running a marathon in general, or a 5K, or whatever outcome goal that you're trying to accomplish, without a massive action plan, without a plan that you're going to move forward with, there's really nothing to guide you. So now we're going to create that map. And what we're going to do is break your 12 weeks into 3 4-week sections, or a month at a time, 30 days at a time, whatever you want to break it down as. So each month, the first thing you're going to do each month is create a keystone habit for the month, a keystone habit. So what is a keystone habit? We all know that habits are the things that run our lives. You've been told possibly that you need to get rid of your old habits and create new habits, but you can't get rid of old habits. All you can do is bring new habits into your life and replace the old habits that you have. If you have habits currently and you're not achieving the things that you're wanting to achieve, that just means that you need to replace those habits with the habits that are going to move you toward that goal. A keystone habit is the most important habit that you could implement today, or that you can implement over the course of 30 days, that is going to, that would make all other habits not insignificant, but it makes them less important. Meaning, if you put this one habit into action over the course of the next 30 days, the rest of the habits would kind of fall into place. It would make them a lot easier. So for instance, let's say that your outcome goal is to lose 10 pounds. If your outcome goal for the 12 weeks is to lose 10 pounds, let's say your first keystone habit for the first month is to start exercising. For most people, starting to exercise means a whole lot of things. There's a lot of steps that you can take to get there, which we're going to go over in a second. But let's say that you believe that the first big step, the first new habit that you should implement is to start exercising. So that's one keystone habit. Maybe the second keystone habit in the next month is to start eating more whole foods. And then maybe the third keystone habit for the final month is to start only drinking water. So you have start exercising, start eating whole foods, and to start drinking water. Now, those are still big things. They're still just, kind of abstract ideas. So after you've created those keystone habits, you have month 1, you have month 2, you have month 3. These are the things that you're going to focus on. Once you've done that, the second thing that you need to do is look at the process goals that are going to move you toward that keystone habit. If you remember, last time we talked about the difference between outcome goals and process goals. So the outcome goal is what you set last time. It is your SMART goal. However, we have no control over if we reach the outcome or not. If your goal is to lose 10 pounds, you really have no control over whether or not you get there. Yes, you can do everything that you can possible, but whether or not you actually get there, you don't know. You don't know until maybe you get there, or maybe you don't. Maybe it takes 5 weeks, maybe it takes 20 weeks. But nonetheless, if you actually get there in 12 weeks, you have zero control over that. All you can do is do the steps that you can take in order to move toward that goal. That's all you can do. Maybe you get there faster, maybe it takes you longer. Process goals, on the other hand, are things that you can control. They are things that you can do. And they're called process goals because they are things that you do on a regular basis. It is the system that you implement into your life in order to move you toward that outcome. However, it is going to move you way past that single outcome, and it's going to move you toward even further outcomes down the road. Because it is a process, it is a thing you are implementing into your life for the long term. Okay, so if you look at a keystone habit, we take our first one that we talked about, that is implementing exercise into your life. Let's say there are a couple things that you need to do. First, there are some one-off actions that you need to take. You need to get a gym membership or find a personal trainer, or whatever step you're going to take. Personally, I'm going to tell you that most people need to find a coach. Most people have a hard time of pushing themselves and actually knowing what it takes to get themselves into better shape or get themselves moving toward their goal, not because you're not smart enough to figure it out, but just because most people have a lot of other things going on in their lives. So most people need a coach to push them forward and to get them to achieve their goal. Nonetheless, you're gonna have to go find a coach, or you're gonna have to get a gym membership. So that's one thing you're gonna have to do. It's not a process. It's not something you do every single week or every single day, but it is something that you have to do. So you have to write that down. Go get a gym membership, go find a trainer, do that thing. What are two things, we'll say two process goals that you can do for your first month that is going to help you implement getting regular exercise into your day? So it might be, number one, might be exercising every day at 10:30. Exercising every day at 10:30. And that means no matter what it is, no matter if you're going to the gym, or no matter if you're doing something at home, or you're gonna go out for a walk, you're doing some form of movement, some form of purposeful activity every day at 10:30. And that might be your first 2 weeks of your keystone, your first 2 weeks of your first month, that is going to be your process of moving you toward implementing exercise into your day or into your life. After that, for your first 2 weeks, you might take a bigger step and say, now I'm going to implement weight training into my workout 3 days a week. So maybe for the first 2 weeks, all you've done is walk or got on the treadmill or something along those lines. And then for the next 2 weeks, you're going to replace some of that walking time with weight training time. So now on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm doing weight training. On Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm doing something else, whether that's walking or whether that's doing a workout at home or just some form of physical activity. Try and make it at the same time. Try and make it on a regular basis. If it is important, do it every day. If it's not important, don't do it at all. Remember, you're looking for two processes that you can implement for each one of these keystone habits. Two things that you can work on for approximately 2 weeks at a time, because it takes us a little bit of time to kind of get used to these new things in our lives. But two things that you're going to work on that are going to help you implement those keystone habits. Okay, and those are the things that are going to move you forward. It is not the wishing and hoping to lose 10 pounds. It is not simply just writing down the SMART goal that we talked about last time. It is the process goals that you implement into your life. It is those actions that you do on a regular basis over time that are going to make the biggest changes in your life. And this, my friends, is where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens, is in implementing those process goals and in constantly checking those off the list. So those are the two steps, the two big steps toward creating your 12-week map, your massive action plan for the next 12 weeks. Number one, your keystone habits for each month within the 12 weeks. And then number two, your process goals, one or two process goals that you can implement to move you toward that keystone habit. The final thing that you need to do with this, once you have your 12-week map laid out, the last thing that you need to do is take action. Take action. You actually have to do this thing. Once you have your plan in front of you and you know what you need to do, you need to go get a gym membership. You need to go find a coach. Go do that. Do it now. Do it today. Next, you need to implement that first process goal that you talked about for the month. If that's exercising at 10:30 in the morning, tomorrow at 10:30, have a timer set and be ready to go for your walk or to do your push-ups or to do whatever it is that you're going to decide to do at 10:30 to get the process rolling. You have to start, you have to take action, you have to do it now. Otherwise, if you tell yourself you're going to do it tomorrow, guess what? Tomorrow never comes. And then the next day never comes, and then the next day never comes. We've all been there, we've all done that. Only when you decide that you're going to do it is when success starts to happen, when you start to move toward that goal. So now we've gone over the 3 steps in getting started. Number 1, creating a compelling vision of the future. Number 2, creating your SMART outcome goal. And number 3, your 12-week map to move you toward that outcome goal. Make sure you're actually doing these steps, because it's only in doing these steps that you will start to move toward this goal and further goals down the road. Now remember, when this 12 weeks is up, guess what? You have to do this again. And then you have to do it again, and then again, and so on and so forth, continually. Constantly moving forward. Next, we get to look at keep going. Now that we have getting started out of the way, we're going to look at the steps it takes for you to continue to move down this path of a better you, to continue to improve your health and fitness, to keep going so that you're not part of that statistic that 90% of people who quit their New Year's resolutions by the middle of February. Do not fall into that statistic. If you follow these next steps of keep going, then you will continue to move forward and you will continue to shoot toward those goals and beyond. If you're ready to really take action on your health and fitness goals in 2020, be sure that you're signing up for the Northern Kentucky New Year's Revolution Summit. That is on January 4th at 9 o'clock, my friends, 9 o'clock. We'll have some great presenters. We have Dr. Mark Johnson and his wife, Jessica Johnson, coming in from Pro Wellness Chiropractic up in Cold Spring, KY. They're going to talk about getting rid of your aches and pains, how to move better, utilize your posture in order to do that. And we have our wonderful nutritionist talking about building a sustainable diet and not worrying about intermittent fasting and ketosis and all of that great stuff. It's all wonderful stuff, but the question is it sustainable for you? Is it sustainable for you? And that's why so many people struggle with their diets. We also have myself and our other coach Sharon that are going to do some wonderful talks as well. So make sure you sign up for that. Remember, January 4th at 9 o'clock, I'll have a link at the bottom for you to be able to click to register. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, do all those wonderful things. And until next time, my friends, here's to your success and fitness mastery.